Tax day just about a week away, and many people expect to receive a sizable refund. IRS says the average refund so far this tax season has been about $1,700.
That's really nice.
Yes,
All right.
hi.
Well, what's the best way to use the money? We joined again by financial advisor Jordan Flowers to tell us about what, the clients can expect this year and how they can prepare for better for next year, because we really are kind of done with 2023 at this point.
Yeah, I mean, everyone gets a big refund. What do we all want to do? We want to spend it, right? We want to enjoy
Immediately.
life,
Yeah,
right? Go
right.
on vacation, spend it ourselves. And I do believe you should do that, but not for all of the refunds.
Right, just 10%, right?
10% is a
it.
good guideline, and then reallocate some of that to maybe pay off some debt, or put into
Yes.
savings, or put into
Right.
investing, because small hinges move large doors, and these
Ooh.
small tweaks.
Small hinges move large
She loves
doors.
cliche. That was going in the vaults.
I took that, borrowed from somebody else, but it's
Okay.
a great way to think about when you go to tax planning. These small tweaks in your plan and how you spend that money can have large benefits for you and your financial future.
Right.
So hard to do. So let's just say the average is $1,700, 10% of that, $170. People might be like, let's just spend half on a vacation, or let's put it somewhere that we can access it later, or just pay down debt,
Yeah.
right? I mean, like you said, there's a couple things you can do with that money besides just go out and spend it.
There's a lot of things you can do, and I would say for especially students and people that have student loans, they can do two things at once. With the new Biden Secure Act 2.0, they can actually contribute to paying off their debt, actually, and still get a contribution match for their 401k, so they help grow their assets and they're paying down debt. But we recommend having a safety fund of usually 3 to 6 months. But if you do have high interest debt, like credit card debt, 20-some% interest, you definitely want to knock that off, because that's like a leaking faucet that'll drain your financial future.
All right, let's talk about withholding. You know how there's the strategy. So if you do this way, you get more that way. And if you do less, you get more that way. So what's the really good strategy?
So when I look at a tax refund, I mean, it's good to get the money, but at the same time, what does the government pay you on that? 0% interest, right? It's a free loan to the government. So I like my money to work harder for me,
Yes,
so
me
we
too.
can work less. So when you change your withholdings, you might want to make a tweak that you withhold a little bit less, so maybe you don't get a big refund, but that money is invested throughout the year. And right now, you can get a guaranteed yield of 5%, no risk, and have that money work harder for you.
Yeah, some of those savings offers right now, 4 or 5%, is hard to beat. We want to talk about next year, because you were mentioning that before we sat down here, which is let's plan ahead now for next tax season. And there's some pretty basic things some folks can do as they're already looking ahead to this year.
Yeah, so a lot of things we want to look at is maybe Roth contributions. When you put money into a Roth, it's tax-free forever. You don't have to worry about what the tax rate may be in the future. And based on current laws, tax rates are going up in 2 years. So now is a good time to think about that. How are you going to be in 2 years or 5 years? And do tax planning for the long term, not just for the short term.
How much can you put in? What is the maximum for a Roth?
Yeah, so for this year, it's about $7,000 if you're under 50, $8,000 if you're over 50. But if you have a 401k, those maximums go a lot higher. But again, you got to live life. You can't just spend all your money and invest. You got to make memories, not just make money. So we recommend having that balance. Spend money on yourself, invest a portion, and have your emergency fund as well.
And if you're employed full-time like we are for the Walt Disney Company, for example, there's a company match, and that's essentially just free money.
Free
That's
money.
what I call it.
Yeah, and it used to be back in the day when we first started, it was a lot more, 10% or something like that when I used to work for General Electric, and now it's come down, but it can still be, like you said, it's just free. It's free.
And everyone should evaluate their 401k, their retirement plan, because maybe they'll give you 5% match on what you put in, but if you don't put anything, you don't get that free money.
Yeah.
So allocate some of that refund, some of your cash into that company 401k and get the free money. That's a benefit that they're offering. Take advantage.
The max, whatever the max that they allow you to do, I mean, that's what I encourage. I'm no tax expert like you,
100%.
but I mean, when you talk free money and, small hinges opening big doors or whatever you just said.
We got it on tape. So for the procrastinators who are looking for an extension, we're not going to name some of them, but our coworkers are here with us right now. If you're
off camera right now.
So people who next week, they're just not going to be ready. They're gonna need an extension. What do you think about that? You got to file it now, and it's not. I mean, sometimes you just got to get your files in order. You don't get penalized for that, right?
So if you're having a refund, no. But I like to get my money sooner. I don't want to wait for that to file to get that refund. But if you do owe money, you can file an an extension, which you legally don't have to file till October 15th, but you still got to pay that tax due by April 15th. So if you do owe money, you want to get that done, or at least know what you're paying now, but you legally don't have to file till October 15th if you file an extension.
How do you file an extension?
So you can go
asking for a friend.
Yeah, you can go on the IRS website, work with your accountant. You just got to file a form that says I want to extend my taxes.
Okay.
But just to be clear, that does not extend how much you owe, when that you owe it, because you do owe it on April 15th.
Do you get then charged, like if you can't make that payment, for example, you've got your extension to October, but I'm not going to be able to pay come April, I've got to think there's interest.
Penalties and interest, so you don't want to let that accumulate. You want to knock that off. Make money on your money. Don't give more to the IRS unless you love to do that, which most of my clients and most people I talk to don't want to do that.
Loves to do that.
Oh,
Are you
man,
kidding me?
we learned a lot here. I'm overwhelmed with all this great information. So.
You filed already, though.
I'm
We're good. Yeah, we filed.
Peace of mind.
Good. Yeah,
It
peace
is.
of mind. I'm, because I always was telling Rob, I was like, next thing is happening. It's Easter. Oh, the next thing is tax thing. I'm like this milestone person because I've got to get it done on time.
Now you can focus on enjoying life, investing, and having fun with your family.
It's a lot, though. You see
I
how
know,
much the
right?
government takes every year, and you're like, oh my
it's,
goodness. And real quick, so you said in a couple of years that those rates, those percentages are going to go up as the law stands right now.
We talked about Biden, the Secure Act 2.0, but Tax Jobs and Cuts Act of 2017 was not a permanent place in the law. It was a 7-year kind of window. That 7-year window expires in 2026. So taxes are scheduled right now to go up. Plus, the government needs money long term. When I talk to a room of 100 people, everyone believes that taxes will be higher in the future. So now might be a great time to do some Roth and pay some taxes while they're lower. Pay them on sale, right? Versus when they're higher.
Right.
So I like to do some tax planning for people now so they're in a better position for the future. Or nothing against CPAs or accountants. They're looking for last year, kind of like history teachers. How much did you owe or how much did you get a refund? We have to think long term before taxes are higher, and that standard deduction is going to come down as well.
Plus, if you make investments last year, if you did really well investing.
Market's doing pretty well right now.
Yeah,
It's hard
you've
to
got to
argue with.
pay on those investments, though. Yeah.
All right, Jordan Flowers back again. You're one of our repeat guests. We love having you.
Appreciate being here.
Doesn't it say something at the IRS? It's emboldened in the letters, and IRS in Kansas City. Doesn't it say taxes are what we pay to be free? Something like that.
It's your legal obligation to reduce your taxes, right? That's what they say in the law. And for me, it's not what you make, it's what you get to keep.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna write it down.
Okay, and it's on a Monday, you guys. We don't get the luxury of it a weekend or a Sunday, or it's on a Monday. So you've got to do it on Monday.
Coming fast.
Yeah, it is for sure. We'll see you maybe next tax season before we all owe, right? Before the
Exactly.
deadline comes, and we can talk about more of those suggestions,
100%.
Jordan.
Thank you for having
Great
me.
advice and information.
Yeah,
We
thank you.
always appreciate you so much. Such an expert.
It's time for our weather forecast.